it's not only the shows, it's the movies, and then it's the documentaries, it's everything, the books. So it's not just a group of sketches on the 70s, it's also all the great movies. I mean, Life of Brian is it's a great movie, and it's something that nobody ever did it with Christ.
Well, I must say, when we were doing the film, actually when we were writing it, I did think to myself, we looked at a lot of other Hollywood movies about the life in biblical movies, you know, The Road and The Greatest Story Ever Told, and all these big Hollywood epics. And I noticed, we watched these films, you know, we watched the first reel, and then we watched the next reel of something else. And I noticed that they all had one thing in common, and that was that everybody spoke in this very same way. We are so honored to be living in the time of Christ. And I thought, if you have people talking like that, people are going to be so offended.
You know, that in most of Portuguese movies, they still talk like people. They don't need to be biblical ones. Regular. I'm reading here. I read it in Portuguese, but then I try to give you the idea. On this book that you all should buy because it's an autobiography, but in the end, when Terry Jones is speaking about what Monty Python achieved, is saying that the best thing they achieved was when I was talking with a friend that was a teacher in a school in a little city in the interior of England. He said that Monty Python caused a change in boys in that village. Before Monty Python, they were all fighting with each other, and after Monty Python, they, for a short period, they were doing silly things. And so he thinks, well, what Monty Python achieved in a small town of England, in the village of England, in the interior of England, there was a short time when a small group of people, instead of fighting, did silly things. That's what Monty Python achieved. I would say that this village is very, very, very big now.
Yes. Well, yes, I just wish. I mean, people do silly things. I mean, George Bush does very silly things. But unfortunately, they do silly things which have unfortunate outcomes, like, you know, killing 1 million Iraqis. And I wish people did silly things that were harmless. And I hope I hope Monty Python can claim to have been mostly harmless, as Douglas Adams put it in his book.
Yeah, I am very curious about this. You play amazing middle-aged housewives. I don't know if you still do that.
I have to. He's not the size. He's a naughty boy. I have to tell you, when I was not Mandy, the Virgin. We called that character the Virgin Mandy. But when I was playing the middle-aged women on television, I have to tell you, I looked exactly like my mother. Uncanny.
Did she like seeing you in that, in those clothes?
Well, I don't know.
Strange experience.
Yes, it was a strange.
That's my boy. And you also.
That's me. No, she said that's me.
No, you also appeared naked in some sketches. Is this kind of experience liberating? You are very relaxed playing the organ.
Well, actually, it was Terry Gilliam who originally did the nude pianist, the nude organist, actually. And it was only then when we decided to film it as well that he couldn't do it because he was doing his animations, and so I had to do it. I always got the parts that nobody else wanted to play. But when there was one moment when I was doing the hermit in the hole in the Life of Brian. There's a hermit who lives down a hole, and he hasn't done it. He hasn't spoken for 15 years or something. And I was, my costume for that was a beard. And I remember very early in the morning having the makeup lady having to sort of stick this beard onto my penis. And I'm thinking, well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. And then a bit later in the day, we had this crowd of Tunisians, and I was directing them. I was saying, look, everybody has to go over there and then do this and that. And Michael Palin came up to me and said, Terry, you do realise you're stark naked. I'd just totally forgotten. It was my costume.